Good morning, students. So, in the last class, welcome to your social class as usual. In the last class, we have taken up a lesson with the Constitution, and I have explained what are the key points we'll be studying in this lesson. And I've explained about the initial topics of the lesson. That is, how was the committee was framed, and soon after independence, what has happened, and after that, the people who were there and who have taken a leadership to frame this constitution. It was under the leadership, in whose the leadership the meeting was held on 4th and 11th December of 1946. Everything we have studied is none other than Dr. Rajendra Prasad has led our chairmanship or the leadership to have the successful meeting done to framing the constitution. And in the last class itself, I've told you in today's class, we'll be studying about the drafting committee. Drafting committee is nothing but the book which is constitution, the line which has been mentioned, the act or the rules and regulation which has been mentioned there, it was drafted by the drafting committee. Okay, who was the leader of this drafting committee and how many people were there, the drafting committee? It states, see, today's class will be studying about drafting committee. Okay, the drafting committee. The Constitution Assembly formed 22 committees and 5 subcommittee to examine the detailed all issues related to the country. How many were there? There were, the assembly was formed for 22 committees. They were having 22 committees. In that, they were having 5 subcommittee. So that to look after all do's and don'ts of the state as well as central issues. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the chairman of one most of the important committee. Who was the chairman of this drafting committee? Is none other than Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the chairman. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was leading the chairmanship for this drafting committee. Okay, so he was the chairman of this drafting committee, that is based on his contribution to framing the constitution, and he was called as chief architect of Indian constitution. Based on his ideas only the constitution has been made. Understood? So that is the reason Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was called as chief architect of Indian Constitution. Okay, based on his ideas, based on his wordings only the constitution has been framed. The other members of this committee were N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar, Alladi Krishna Swamy Iyer, K. M. Munshi, T.T. Krishnamachari, and some other eminent statesmen were there. Along with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, there were other people also. Their names were N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar, Swamy Iyengar, Alladi Krishna Swamy Iyer, and K. M. Munshi. And along with K. M. Munshi, T.T. Krishnamachari. These were the people, they were along with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was called as chief architect of our Indian constitution. They helped to frame the constitution. Next, framing of the constitution. The Constituent Assembly took 11 months, 18 days to complete this work. What was how many days and months it has been taken? It has been taken 11 months, 18 days. So almost a year, isn't it? So 11 months, 18 days to complete the work. During these discussions, the various laws enacted by the British government in 1909, 1919 and 1935, the British parliamentary system, that is American Bill of Rights and the social directive policies of Ireland were studied, and some of these elements of those were incorporated. Finally, Indian Constitution was approved on 26th November 1949. One was it was got approved. See, approved is something different. Came into an existence is something different. Okay, you should not combine with the approved date and the came into an existing date. Okay, it was approved on 26th November 1949 and came into force. See, came into force is nothing but came into an existence on, that is on existence. That means where we people started willing and considering, yes, we are going to be abide for all the rules and regulations which has been mentioned in this constitution. Came into an existence on which date, students will be knowing, that is 26th January 1950, where we people celebrate as Republic Day, isn't it? Republic is nothing but getting once again the freedom with all rules and regulation which is equal to everyone. That is the reason we are celebrated Republic Day on 26th January 1950. Why? Because the constitution came into force. Next comes to preamble to the constitution. This is about drafting and framing. You came to know, right? See, from the drafting committee, there were 22 committees were there in the drafting committee. Once again, I am explaining you students. Please concentrate on this. Note this important points in the lesson explanation book. Okay. See, 22 committees were there. Among rather than these 22 committees, there were again 5 subcommittees were there in this drafting committee. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the leader, or the he was the leader or the chairman for this drafting committee, and he was also called as chief architect of Indian Constitution. Chief architect. Architect means who? The people who just shape up the buildings are said to be the architects, isn't it? So to shape up this constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the main key. Understood? So along with this Ambedkar, there were other persons were also there. That is N. Gopalaswamy Iyer, Alladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, K. M. Munishi, T.T. Krishnamachari. These were the other state persons were also there in this drafting committee. And next comes framing of constitution. Finally, the framing of constitution took 11 months, 18 days to complete the constitution. Understood? And which was got approved on the date of 26 November 1949. Later, it came into existence on 26 January 1950, and that is the reason we people celebrate Republic Day on 26 January 1950 by getting all the rights and regulation equal to all the people or all the citizens of India. Understood? So this is about drafting committee and framing of constitution. Next, we'll study about preamble to the constitution. Hope so you have covered this point, no? Students, I guess I'm in the same same length what I'm explaining. Why? Because social we have got more and more lessons. See, look at your index part for the part 1, so much what you have to read. So all these things we have to complete for your FA2. All this chapter should be completed for your FA2 before your SA1 comments. That is the reason I'm in bit not in a hurry. So I'm bit so taking the important points and explaining you to understand what is constitution. Is it clear, students? So next we'll be studying about the preamble to the constitution. If there is any doubt, you can come back to the school premises and you can just check when I'll be available, so that you can come and clarify all your doubts, whatever you have. Okay. Preamble to the constitution. See, the Indian Constitution has combined in itself the best features of different constitutions of the world and has its own preamble. The preamble contains the fundamental policies, ideals of Constitution. What does this preamble contains? Preamble contains, contains fundamental policies. fundamental policies and then the ideal of the constitution. And ideals. Ideals means what? That means all sets of rules and regulations. It has to be come in this way. Yes, we have to follow in the same way. Okay. So that is what preamble which consists of, and it is a sum of the structure, values, principle, goals of the constitution. Structure. Yes. For example, if the person has to pay no, without wearing a helmet, if he is driving a vehicle, he has to pay 500 rupees as a charge. Means he has to pay 500 rupees, which has been mentioned in the constitution. Each and everything, by paying the penalties, paying income taxes, giving the judgment of the Supreme Court, like if the person has committed this and these things, so he has to subject it for this punishment. All these things, all rules and regulation, what government has to do, what peoples of, or what the citizens of a country, what they have to do, everything it has been detailed in the constitution. All the structures, values, position, and the goals. Goals is nothing but reaching to that point. Understood? If the person, for example, in an election, the person has to be minimum, what is his age? It should be 25 years. And he can just contest in an election in any of the party, or he can stand as an independent party also. Everything it has been stated in this constitution. Based on these rules only, the people are conducting the elections, each and everything, the polio, everything it's been going through these rules and regulations only. Understood? So that is what preamble to the constitution. It is based on the aspiration and the ideals of the people. The preamble is a part of objective resolution put forward by the Jawaharlal Nehru on December 30, 1946 and approved by the Constituent Assembly on the January 22, 1947. These resolutions upholds the nature of Indian sovereign. If India has been sovereign, democratic, republic in nature, social, economic, political justice for all the people is upheld. As I told, by paying the income tax or getting the judgment from the Supreme Court, everything it is detailed in this constitution. And look at this. This is how our preamble looks like. Okay, you can just see in the page number 49, if you people have the textbook, how does preamble of our constitution have. These preambles will give, it will be equal in all the way. In which way? In the democratic, republic nature. That means all peoples are free from everything. That means no people will be punishing or ill-treated the person in the different levels. Socially, economically equal, and political justice. As I told you, political justice is nothing but court rules or the judgment by the judges. That means for all the people equal. Everything in all these terminologies, it has been equal, which has been said in preamble of a constitution. Okay, so you can just see the preamble to the constitution, which says that we the people of India. That means it has been given for our people. That is, it says we the people of India, because we have accepted this constitution. So we have to follow this constitution. That is the reason it has been stated in the terms of we the people of India, having solemnly resolved the constituent India as a sovereign. Sovereign means it is free from everything. Socialist in which way? In the socialist, secular, democratic, republic, and secure to all the citizens. That means it has been equal to all the citizens of India. Justice, social and economical, political justice. That means equal law, which says about socially, economically, and politically it is equal. Liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. Liberty is been given. Equality of status and of opportunity and promote among them. Equality is given. Fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity of the integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give us ourselves this Constitution. When this came into existence? That is on 26th November 1949, the preamble came into an existence. Okay, which says that hereby adopt, enact, and give ourselves to this constitution. We are adopting it and we are enacting it. The enacting is nothing but we are showing and giving to ourselves this constitution. The words of socialist and secular were added by the 42nd Constituent Amendment Act of 1976, and this is what the preamble states. The preamble to our constitution is a meaningful. It describes our political system as a key to understand our constitution. It's simple. It's a political system. It's a key for all the political system what we have in our India. It's not only by conducting the elections. It's not only by conducting the elections. Okay. It has been described the jewel of the constitution. What it says? Preamble to the constitution. It is jewel. Jewel means ornaments. It's one of the jewel of the constitution. Like how we women, for example, we doesn't go out without a jewel for any parties or functions, isn't it? Like that only, our Indian constitution, without preamble, it just look like a ugly. So preamble is a jewel for our Indian constitution. K. Munishi has referred as a political horoscope. He has received as the political horoscope. So it says that we, the Indian citizens, the preamble of the constitution being we the citizens of India, that is Indian constitution is being framed by the Indians, strives to fulfill the dreams of Indians. That means it has been accepted, we people. We have framed it and we are going to follow it. That is what it says, which stands we. Sovereign. What do you mean by sovereign? India is a sovereign country. India is a sovereign country and do not under the control the other countries in the world. It is not only the part of any bloc, it has the own foreign policies, non-alignment policies, 5-year plans, implementation by which country has achieved the internal and external autonomy. Sovereign is nothing but planning for next what it is. It could be any plans, it could be 5-year plans, it could be any industrial plans, what country has to accept for its development. That is said to be the sovereign. Next, socialist. Socialist, the goal of our constitution is to create the social equality and promote the welfare of the people in our country. Socialist, nothing but, all the peoples of the country, they should be equally treated. That means they should have the equality among themselves. To enable this, directive principles of the state policy have been incorporated in the constitution through 42nd Amendment done in 1976. Though this amendment, land reforms, the other progressive economic reforms were introduced. It's simple, students. Sovereign is nothing but planning for next what it is. Socialist nothing but have the equality among all the Indians. Secular is nothing but the word secular has been incorporated by the constitution through the 42nd Amendment in 1976. No religion has been given the status of national religion. So India is a secular country. The citizens have a liberty to practice any religion they desire. All religions are equal in status in India. That is the reason India has a different religions. They don't follow only one religion like abroad. Understood? So we have given a space for all the religions. That means any citizen, if he wish to continue in some other religions, he can do it. There was no set of rules. It has been given that Indians to be followed only Hinduism or Christianism or Islamism. If the people of the cities, if the citizen of a country will to accept any religion, he can just have it. Understood? This is what the secular means. Next comes your democratic republic. What is that democratic republic? Securing the happiness of everyone is the responsibility of the government as democracy. The problems are solved through the discussion. The elections were held every 5 years. Though the universal adult franchise, the fact the head or the state is the president of India, has been elected for the period of 5 years, proves that country is republic. Democratic republic is nothing but, that is what? Elections. What we see, state election and central election. Every 5 years, once only the election has been conducted. So we are the people who are going to elect the CM of our country. I mean, not CM of not a country, for a state chief minister. And all this, we the people of our country will elect a PM also, isn't it? Indirect way. That is how the democratic principle is equal to everyone. That means everyone has given the right to vote to the people, no, the person who they wish to have their leader. This is what about democratic of the nation. And as I told you, students, so I'm not in a hurry to finish the chapter, but I have more lessons to complete for your for your essay 1. So the part 1 textbook has to be completed in the social for your essay 1. That is the reason I'm just doing a bit fast. See this, so far you have understood, no? The democratic republic, what does it state? Sovereign, what does it say? Socialist, what does it state? Secular, what does it state? So everything. So this is about today's class, students. In the next class, I'll be discussing deeply about your silent features of the Constitution. So that I'm just giving the gap after explaining two headers. Understood? So for every two headers, I'm taking one class to explain, so that you will get time to read the things from your textbook as well as from the lesson explanation book. Okay. So don't be in a hurry to mess up everything, students. So please cooperate with these chapters and the explanation. So in the next class, I'll be doing with the silent features of our Constitution in detail. Okay. Thank you for the session. Have a great day, students.